Hi, today I want to talk about a little bit about PSIs. And we know that PSI is sometimes equated with, pressure per square inch. That's what we know PSIs to be. But that's a gauge that kind of tells you how much pressure one individual is under or one object is operating under. So I realized, I said, the PSI, we need a gauge for life, a PSI gauge for life. And I thought about, what is the PSI gauge for life? Well, one of the things is I see is that our PSI gauge is the things that we are under life, bills, marriages, relationships, all those other things create our pressure points, our PSIs, as you want to call them. And when we're the vessel that operating under that, so my PSI level may be different from your PSI level. You may can handle $1,000,000 and not feel the pressure, and I may can handle 100,000 and not feel the pressure. So it's learning how to manage the pressure that you're living under in life. And a lot of times we are under a lot of pressure, but we don't know how to manage it. We have nothing in place to help us manage our day-to-day pressures. And one of our day-to-day pressures, when you're in a relationship, is finance, it's a lot of other things, it's sex, it's money, it's so many PSIs that push you in a position under pressure. So when you don't have nothing in place, your pressure gauge always tilt over to the red. And you wonder why you're having financial hardships, or you're having marital issues, or you're having just day-to-day relationship issues, job issues, because your PSI measure is off. And so my definition of a PSI is planning, stewardship, and implement or implementations. So what are some of your things that you're planning? And I think if you fail to plan, prepare to fail. And that's one of my key things about life, because sometimes we don't plan. And when you don't plan, you always run into different obstacles because you didn't plan for it. Your car break down, you didn't plan for it. You didn't save. Okay, if you didn't save, guess what? You're going to have to borrow. And guess what? You're going to be a servant to your borrower. So now we need to learn how to plan. And people say you can't plan for everything, but the things you can plan for, you should plan for. And sometimes we don't even plan for the things we can plan for. And that's part of your PSI, your pressure. And even in relationship, you don't put in no plans. Guess what? Your PSI level going to be high. You don't plan for vacation. You don't plan for kids. You don't plan for your husband to their difficulties. You don't put that in your plan of being there. You don't plan for just whatever it may be. Anything you can name, anything you can think of, put a plan to it and watch how it changes. And you go to stewardship. Stewardship is another area where you have to learn how to govern yourself mentally, financially, emotionally. If you do that in all areas, you begin to reduce your pressure. And it's all about reducing your pressure. And then implementation, future plans, things you want to do, things you think you need to do. Put it into action. Implement some things. If you set goals, implementation is basically learning how to set a goal and follow through on it. What are some things that you're setting? Set goals, have goal setting, and implement it in your life. Now, those are my PSIs: planning, stewardship, and implementation. And I think that if we start to use those PSIs in our life, we can reduce the pressure that we function under. And a lot of time, the reason why the pressure is so high, because we don't even have a gauge to teach us or show us how to bring those things in perspective. So I ask you today to focus on some things that would help you get your PSI level down. All right. God bless.